This is Coffee with God, and I am Father Jose. Let us begin this day with the Word of God and a short reflection.
A reading from the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verses 1 to 5 and 9 to 13. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Doomed to the rebellious city, the home of oppressors, sewer city, the city that wouldn't take advice, wouldn't accept correction, wouldn't trust God, wouldn't even get close to her own God. Her very own leaders are rapacious lions. Her judges are rapacious timber wolves, out every morning, prowling for a fresh kill. Her prophets are out for what they can get. They're opportunists. You can't trust them. Her priests desecrate the sanctuary. They use God's law as a weapon to maim and kill souls. Yet, God remains righteous in her midst, untouched by the evil. He stays at it day after day, meting out justice. At evening, he's still at it, strong as ever. But evil men and women, without conscience and without shame, persist in evil. In the end, I will turn things around for the people. I will give them a language, undistorted, unpolluted, words to address God in worship and united to serve me with their shoulders to the wheel. They will come from beyond the Ethiopian's river. They will come praying. All my scattered exiled people will come home with offerings for worship. You will no longer have to be ashamed of all those acts of rebellion. I'll have gotten rid of your arrogant leaders. No more pious strutting on my holy hill. I will leave a core of people among you who are poor in spirit. What's left of Israel, that's really Israel. They will make their home in God. This called holy people will not do wrong. They won't lie, won't use words to flatten or seduce. Content with who they are and where they are, unanxious, they will live at peace. The word of the Lord.
Reflections on the book of Prophet Zephaniah, chapter 3, verses 1 and 2 and 9 to 13. The Church celebrates today the memorial of Saint Lucy, Virgin and Martyr. Saint Lucy is venerated as the patron saint of blind people. Legend has it that Saint Lucy was tortured by Emperor Diocletian because of her deep faith. Her torturers plucked her eyes out at the emperor's command, but God miraculously restored her eyesight. The important message of this feast is the significance of light and living our faith without fear. The lesson from today's first reading is that it is never too late. Despite their stubbornness, God never rejected His people. Even though the stubborn multitudes would be displaced by the invaders, a remnant would always remain. These are the good and faithful people, few in number but humble of heart. Despite the sufferings and setbacks, God's plan will not be thwarted. The reading begins with a warning to an unnamed city, probably Jerusalem, representing the whole of Israel. Officials, judges, prophets, and priests are all seen as corrupt and continue to ignore the warnings they have received from God. But change is on the way when people are given lips that are clean and will begin to serve the Lord faithfully. The promise of pure speech is a symbol of forgiveness. It also points to a reversal of the curse of Babel and anticipates the Pentecost, when all will speak with the same voice and proclaim the same message. On that day, there will be a humble and lowly remnant of Israel. This image of a simple and modest people, devoid of all arrogance and pride, has been described as one of the most perfect descriptions of the spirit of poverty in the Old Testament. The Anavim, the poor and the lowly of Yahweh, in this world play a significant role in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. The Anavim are those Israelites who submit not passively but actively to the will of God. The poor of the Lord will mean all who hope to find God. The Gospel of Luke, in particular, proclaims the happiness of the poor. The overall message of today's readings is that it is never too late to start listening to God and to follow Jesus in his life of simplicity and dedication to the well-being of others.